was whack.
All right, Ramos paid the internet bill.
Had to do it real quick.
Had to do it real quick on his credit card, and we're back up now.
There we go. All right, text me anyhow. So, I always wonder about that though. Just about kids and vaping and all this stuff since it's such an epidemic now. Even the president's involved. So, yeah, there's that stuff. But we had a discussion this weekend about it. What we would do if we caught some kids. And I'm a hard nosed coach. I'm just like, what's up, Jimmy? Sorry about
Hello.
that. My internet went haywire for a second.
Yes.
I think it probably just. Oh, Jimmy can't hear us. Yeah. So go out, go back in. You know what's funny is a couple people have kind of shown up. What's up, Jimmy?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Now I lost Ramos.
Can you hear us? What about now?
Oh, there you go.
There we go. There we go. Now we're good.
Out and came back in. We're all good.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think my laptop just froze. That was a problem. It's an outside. Anyhow, we're back.
He didn't pay the internet bill.
That's really what it was. Well, I'm using my neighbors actually. They just changed the Wi-Fi password. So.
Hey, I know we're talking about vaping, and I don't know how much it got up, but.
Oh yeah, I just said I'm a dick. I would take it off team immediately. Yeah. So that was my thing. But,
we need to get some little business cards, like just flyers to let people know about the podcast or the show, because I don't think people do. And the reason I brought it up because I ran into a couple listeners this weekend. They're like, "Oh yeah, I listened to that, and you know, it's a really cool thing you're doing, but I wish more people knew about it." And this was like a dad that was kind of like getting.
Okay, so tell me right now, because I'm going to order it tonight. Pop sockets, flyers.
Yeah, I think. Banner? I mean, pop sockets are cool too. I just think that, like, just a card, like kind of like a business card like. You would say, hey, give it a like at the coaches meeting. I'll do it when I have like the seating meeting at the coaches thing. Yeah. Like, hey, can I say something real quick? Hey, anybody that wants to hear, you know, we're talking about girls wrestling in California. Blah, blah, blah. Like, have a listen. If you don't have no interest in it, that's great too. But
dude, I'm gonna have we have to have a shirt made too because we need Jimmy next time he wins. When he wins the Worlds next year, he's wearing it on the podium. And USA Wrestling gives us free advertisement when Jimmy's wearing the podcast shirt on top of the podium.
Well, I think they make you wear your warm-ups on top of the podium.
Oh, damn it, socialists.
So I don't know that USA Wrestling is going to be key on giving us free advertisement either. even though we're all very supportive.
Okay, so pop sockets and fly. Pop sockets and cards. Okay, I'll do that. You know what? I'll try to do it where it has that QR code on it too, where they can just scan it with their phone and then it'll just like take it to it or whatever. So okay, so I'm up for whatever we can do to get more listeners. I'm down, and more people asking questions too. That's what we need. We need people involved. You know what we should do too when we have like a booth or whatever is just have like a topic box where people can just.
Speaking of topics, you know the Southern California teams that might be going to Napa. Oh yeah,
I know Cerritos is.
Two, maybe
I know.
I haven't sent a contract in. I
think. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not. I don't know about you guys. You guys,
I don't know who else
bigger teams, but do you send like full contracts in for everything at the beginning of the year like that, or what do you guys? I know. I'm just like, if I say I'm coming to your tournament and I give you my word, I'm gonna show up. If I don't show up, I'm gonna give you a check. That's the way I run. But Jimmy's got 800 girls, so you probably can't afford.
I'm as good as my word.
So show up with 2 busloads full of girls to some tournament, and they say, "Oh, we don't have a contract."
Well, we have, and it's happened. So, now I'm like trying to call ahead of like sometimes, it's so crazy because, we have 100 kids. We got 4 tournaments going every weekend. Sometimes 4 buses going in different directions, and my head's about to explode a lot of the time. And sometimes I just like brain fart on like, did I send in that contract? Did I not? Oh my gosh, I sent in the wrong one. Do they know we're coming? And then so then I've been just trying to hit people up and let them know, hey, we're coming. You got us, or like you know, and I'll forget.
Let me ask you this, Jimmy. Let me ask you this: if you make a deal with somebody to swap tournaments, do you send all 8 buses to that one tournament, or do you go, okay, like that's just 14?
You know, we usually have 2 teams almost every. We used to send like all the girls to like whatever tournament we went to because it was easier. But now I've been kind of breaking them up because we got like 2 distinctive levels of girls and some in the middle. But you know, like for Roland, we sent girls to Roland, and then we sent girls the next day to Western's JV tournament. And so, you know, we did both, and you know, we've been doing a lot of that more lately because I do that with the boys too. They go to a JV and Froshoft, and then the boys will go to a tougher varsity tournament. So it just ends up being a lot more stress for me, though. And there's times too, like
that's a lot of wheels moving
tournaments are happening that they have like a varsity, a JV, girls, boys, and I'm like, that sounds perfect. But I really want to go to this varsity boys tournament that weekend, and it's a lot tougher, and I want to go to that one. But then I'm like, oh, but I already said I would go to this one for the girls. So then I just send like a JV team to one of them.
So,
you know,
let me ask you a quick question. And I know it's different in boys, it seems like, than girls. Let's just pretend you have 2 coaches there, or one. Yeah, you're big enough. You have 1. Or you have 2. Let's say you have 2 coaches there. You have 3 girls up at the same time. How do you, as a coach, run it?
Like, how do I decide?
Yeah,
Katie Gomez.
Yeah. How do you decide who you're coaching? Like, I'm just like,
his favorite.
I have 8 girls, but I only have 4 competing right now. And there's times that I get a JV girl and a varsity girl come up at the same time, or I got 2 111-pounders and they're both, and one parent gets mad at me while I'm the other parent, but. Like I do it like as the first one to come out of the chute, assign to a mat. That's where I go, and then the second one I'll go to that mat as soon as this one's over.
Yeah.
That's the way I do it. But how do you guys do it?
Yeah, usually it's convenience. You know, like whoever's up. You know, but sometimes if there's like I can make a choice. Like if I switch, usually it's I'll leave the better kid. You know, like with somebody else, and then
no. But I'm saying there's nobody. Let's just say there's 2 of you and there's 3 girls wrestling at the same time.
Well, if I have like a really good kid who I know is probably going to win, I won't coach them then. And then I'll go to the kid who's going to struggle, who has to listen to me to hit a move, you know? Because, I mean, they're the ones that are going to need coaching. The ones, hopefully you coach them in the room enough to where they're not going to need you saying stuff to them.
What about you, Ramos? Do you go to Katie Gomez too? You go coach Katie?
I you get me in trouble. I find my own Charlotte. So I honestly, Des and I look at each other and be like, okay, which one of us can tolerate the kid the most? That's usually how we go, because we have like new kids will make you cross-eyed. And you're just like, oh my god, I got the last
one. Let's say you're in one tournament,
okay,
Des
fine.
is at another, or something, or Des isn't there, and you're the only coach. You're the only coach. There's only 2, and there's 2 girls up at the same time, same mat 1 and 4.
Then
you can't even sit next to them and coach both.
I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then the more experienced girl is going to be on her own. I mean, because your more experienced girl knows what she's doing, and she's not going to be wrestling at the same time. Well,
yeah.
I mean, medal round's a medal round, right? I mean, like
semis,
if one's wrestling for third and one's wrestling for first. Semis got to take it. Like, it's going to happen. Like, it's just that way. Like,
yeah, it depends on the tournament.
I mean, it depends on the tournament too. I mean, if it's just a scrub, a tournament plays a big part of it. Like, yeah, I mean, you don't want a kid to ever feel like they're less, but at the same time too, it's like, well, the kids understand like there's more on the line over there or whatever. But But Jimmy's logic works really well. Like,
Like,
yeah,
I try to-
you obviously want to
I
be there
try
with
to
the
get
kid
my-
that needs you more.
My
The other
more
one would like
experienced
to there.
girls that aren't wrestling to go corner the other girl anyway. Like just to be there to kind of have somebody in the corner. But in boys, you don't wrestle unless your coach is there, and you can say, "I'm not wrestling without my coach." But it seems like girls tournaments are like, "We don't care. You're wrestling."
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the referees push them. The referees don't care. The referees are like, "No, we're going."
I'll tell them
You just
like a
qualified.
freak show. They were running them so quick. I was telling the kids not to show up. Take your
Let the calls.
Yeah.
Take your calls.
I was like, take your three calls, dude, and then I'm gonna run over there if I can. Buy me some time.
Yeah.
Tell them you need to go switch your singlet or something.
I pooped in my singlet.
Yeah.
Just shout, girl. I sharded. You want to check? You want to check? Let you go do your thing. So yeah,
I think it probably is a topic that
luckily I don't have
people with new programs, newer coaches, might encounter.
Yeah. And it's an issue at Fargo every year, clearly. And that one, I usually a lot of times don't coach my own kids because I was running around coaching other people, and then I get stuck and can you coach me? Can you coach me? And it's like, oh shoot. And then as soon as I finish one, I turn around, I'm up right now. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then
but there's plenty of coaches on the coaching staff. Why are kids not? Never mind. Just kidding. That's a new topic. That's a topic for June.
Yeah, for June.
Okay, Jimmy. Oh gosh. Well, because they already put the applications out for folk style national team.
You have to apply. Colorado. Is it turning into like a Fargo where you have to apply? You can't just show up like it was Oklahoma.
Yep. Yeah.
No, you can still show up. I think.
Well, don't threaten me.
You can't be on the dual team. Can't be on a dual team.
I think it's still like they made you fill out applications before.
So.
And the letter of rec.
Yeah, but it was like way
team.
late. It was like maybe at CIF time or something that we got.
Well, it's the same time they're putting in the applications for the kids too. So I guess might
as well before season started. So
yeah.
No, but they didn't do coaching applications.
Yeah, no, it already went out.
Well, I didn't get one.
It's like, okay.
I didn't get one.
Yeah, they make me.
They don't
do.
You got one.
No, they hand them out to specific people. It's not like it's not posted anywhere. It's like Jimmy's like, they made me fill it out. Yeah, they gave Jimmy a clipboard like, hey, look, we have 4 of these here. Fill it out and put this guy's name next to it too, because we're just using the same application for you guys. But I just laugh because I'm just like, because people ask me like, oh, are you on the staff this year? I'm like, they would never put me on the staff. Why not? I'm like, they never are going to put me on the staff. I am not in the loop. It doesn't even matter. They're just like, I'm like, they have some good coaches. They just
it's hard. I feel like
some people don't be there, but
they can't afford to take enough people to accommodate everything. Right.
That's really a side excuse. Right. That's really a side excuse because a lot of coaches have said they would pay.
Mm-hmm.
I would pay my own. If they're like, "Hey, Ramos, we need help,"
you do. Pay your own way. Go there, help out as much as you can, and I think that's the best way to kind of get on their good side and get in there. Because otherwise, you're just a person and a name who's complaining or being.
I choose to do both.
I
pay my own way as a coach, and then I still complain.
Right. If I just
there's always that option.
Well, if I just smartened up and got up with that team that's like literally the next city over to me, and then I don't even have to do a background check, and I could wear my my jacket to my arraignment when I get busted for something.
This is just to be clear, that's not the youth level kid. That's the senior level director. For the people that don't know.
Yeah, but he was still got to get cleared by Safe Sport, right? That guy. But anyways, but but that's the thing too. Like those coaches aren't even necessarily coaches. They're a club coach because they're on a specific team. They get on the floor, and it's like, come on, man.
Well, because when the founder of the club is single-handedly
that seems like garbage
funding USA Wrestling and the country. I mean,
the state,
the dream, whatever Living the Dream Fund is funded by him. The big dollars is funded by him. So. I guess it's the golden rule, Ramos. Them that has the gold makes the rules.
No.
Since the beginning of time.
Yep.
Damn it. Well, that's the thing, though. Like, come on, dude. I give a lot of shit back, and I don't step on USA Wrestling's toes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how much? I'll ask this an honest question. You don't think wrestling participation has
since you started the podcast
increased since we started?
Oh, Somar.
Since I started Somar and doing my tournaments on the side, because even the people who don't like me, okay, when we first started, we had a bunch of people that were friends and no longer friends.
But then,
okay,
it's like a rash. You kind of grow on people.
But even then, they pretended like they did. Yeah, pretended like they did, and then they stopped coming. But our numbers never dropped. So those people went to other tournaments. Those tournaments stayed the same size, and then my tournaments the same size. So basically, double the number of girls in our area that are actually participating. On top of that, I sponsor association dual teams. I make sure that our dual tournaments aren't on their weekends. Like I try to really steer around them as much as I can.
Started Somar.
And so I just you know what I learned is that like I'm competitive and there's just a time to be competitive. I think that's just it. And that not everybody's just trying to get one over. You know what I'm saying? Like some people genuinely make mistakes and those things happen. And whereas before, because I've been around forever on the girls' side now, it's like you've seen people doing stuff that you're like, dude, that's wrong. Don't do that. And then now I learned too, like, don't fight everybody's battle like it's yours. Because I would go to seating meetings and people would lie. And I would just pull my phone out and be like, that's a lie. There it is. Like, are you sure that's what happened? Are you sure? And then they'd be like, that guy's a dick. And I'm like, like, I'll do what's right for all of wrestling, not just my kids. I think Jimmy was at the first LA City meeting when I said that too. Like, I'm not trying. Oh, yeah. No, because I was like, dude, this girl's not 30-0 because your assistant coaches put their freaking freak show. And I was also like, dude, that's a lie. Like, they're not 30-0. You guys haven't been anywhere. And then I was like, look, if your girl beats my girl and my girl meets that stupid criteria they put out 2 days before the meeting, can they qualify? And they're like, you're just worried about your kid. I go, it's not for me. It's for the Birmingham girl or the San Fernando girl that beats my girl. Can they go to state? They deserve to go to state. And they were just like, no, he's an ass. And it's like, no, I'm trying to help everybody here. Otherwise, nobody's going to go to the tournament. So, yeah, I just learned that you can't fight every battle like it's yours. It's just fight your battles. And the things that people do try to get over.
Yeah, I think people that,
you can't
last a long time doing things, pick and choose their battles, I think, especially if you're like, I'm going to pick and choose my battles and ones that I know I can win. And lost causes. That's one thing I feel like I learned as a coach over the last 10 years was I've definitely, especially with refs and stuff, I've learned to pick my battles and be like, yeah, they're not going to change their mind on that one. That was whatever. But sometimes it's like a young ref or they made a mistake and, I'm like, oh, well, I think I can appeal to, to the fact that they clearly made a mistake and hopefully they see my way. But most of the time lately, I mean, I'm like, it's not worth it. Because then you argue it, and then the kid gets pinned like right after that, and you're like, oh, great.
Yeah, that made no difference whatsoever.
Like a jerk, you're like, never mind. Forget I said anything. It's like,
just eating your shoe, like, no. Yeah, so that's just I think. The difference in me now. I'm just like, no, not everybody's trying to get one over. And even if they are, it'll show up in the end. At the end of the day, it'll show up. And so I try not to do that anymore. And it's the thing is too, is like what I realize is this, the people who are super passionate want to correct every wrong. And that's not the right thing. And they got to learn that there's,
I see people yell at seating meetings too. And like,
what I'm saying?
Like, what's the point? Like really, I mean, they're gonna have to wrestle anyway, And you see coaches talking smack to each other. I remember I was
like 2 and 3 are the same.
I remember I got into it like a long time ago at Newberry Park, like with the coach, and we were arguing about seed. So they put him as like 4th and 5th, and they wrestled. And the guy was like, "Your LA City kid will never, blah blah blah, this and that." And I was like, "We'll see then, we'll see." And our kid like killed him. And I wanted so badly like go up to him and be like, "What did you think?" But then I was like, what's the point of
In
that?
your
Like,
face!
it's already over. And he actually came up to me and goes, "Oh, that kid was actually pretty good." Like, and apologized. But I was like, "Oh man, yeah." Like, it didn't seem to be worth it. Like, it's a lot of energy for nothing.
Yeah.
Because then if you make an ass of yourself if you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Now,
my kid's great, and then your kid gets beat, and then you're like, "Oh my gosh."
no. There's only one time I've ever been like, whatever. And that was when I was at the CD meeting at Brea Linda High School with Lawson and Villa Park and all those guys. And they're like, let's take a vote. And I'm like, there's no vote. All right. This is a CIO seating meeting. And you guys are the boys club. Like, you think I'm that stupid? Like, no, whatever. That was the only ever time I've been like, oh, you should wrestle first round. Just get it over
That's
with.
like
Then.
sometimes you're just like, fine, just draw them in.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's fine. Well, just draw them in. That's fine.
Yeah. Just draw them in.
But that's because people like you
Break
don't
the
want to give any
bracket.
credence to a stud 8th grader incoming freshman. You want to make them earn it.
What?
Let them earn it. What do you think about that, Jimmy? Stud 8th graders coming in, they're a hammer. Do you just automatically
I think
give them
it
the
depends.
seed
If there's
or the
somebody
ranking?
who's like a state placer or something, I wouldn't rank them ahead of them. But if you're like, oh, she was, Oklahoma folk style national champ as an 8th grader, she, won, the U15 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put her in there. I don't want her to break the bracket. That's not the point of seeds.
Hell no. I love bracket breakers.
Early in the
fuck
year,
it all up.
it's hard because
Draw 'em
nobody's
in
really
first
proven
round.
and nobody's really done stuff. But I feel like if everybody knows the kid, like, you should put them in there. If you know they're a stud and they've wrestled that girl before and beat them, then okay, let's put them in a good seat.
Yeah. I'm like,
they did.
I'm like, let them earn it.
They won Oklahoma. They won
U15.
Yeah.
No, not against high school kids. Not against high school kids. Not against high school kids. Come on now. You're gonna put a California State champ as a seed at the NCAA tournament?
Well, maybe they wrestled the high school division at Freak Show.
Let them earn it.
All the girls. Yeah.
The elite. No. So, I could ask Jimmy this question. Jimmy, if you were a parent and we asked this question before, we could ask you because you have experience, or a parent, and you could send your kid to one of two places. One, where the coach has consistently coached state placers but never a state champ, or to a place where they had one amazing wrestler who was a state champ, but no.
Honestly, at the end of the day, I would send my kid to the better program because I want my kid to have a full experience. And this is something I didn't experience as a kid. We had 5 guys on our team that were really good, and we push each other, but we never won a duel. We never won a tournament. We did better in state than any other tournament we did all year, and which was sad. But when I started coaching, that's one thing I really wanted to emphasize is like that atmosphere of team, and no one person is better than the whole. And I like that idea better because I noticed that kids tend to stick it out or tend to fight harder if they have other people that they care about, that are counting on them, that they know care about them, And it's the same idea of like trying to motivate a kid, through a motivational speech and like yelling at them and, getting But I feel like, if you coach them with love, then that you don't have to up it ever, If I'm yelling at you and I'm like, you got to get going.
Yeah.
Then, you're going to take that next time. I got to yell louder and I got to be stronger and more than I was before. But if I, tell you that I care about you and that I believe in you, and that's all you really need. I don't need to up it. So,
yeah,
I think that's kind of the idea. If I know there's somebody that cares like I do about, my kid, and really going to take care of them and really, put time and effort into them, then that's the place I'd want them to go.
Fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, Josh. Why don't you just send Michaela to Santa Ana with somebody else and have her wrestle there?
Why don't I
I
send
was
her
thinking
there?
about that today. Yeah, just send her to Santa Ana. Let one of your friends coach her, and just make her go out there and
Senior.
wrestle some tough
Yeah, I
matches.
was gonna say it's a little
She
late
wanted
for
to go.
that.
She wanted to go to Birmingham, but it's too far. Oh,
That
you're
was this
saying
weekend.
why don't I send her this
Yeah.
weekend?
No, I'm saying for the tournament.
Oh, well,
The
she's got to
tournament.
go to take ACTs this weekend. That's why.
It's garbage, dude. What is this? It's, every time at the tournament, you can't. Yeah, she's got an ACT, SAT thing going.
She's a smart kid.
Tell her,
She's got to
oh,
she got
There
to
she
take
gosh.
those
goes.
tests.
No,
She takes
that's a
every
problem. She
time.
hasn't taken them one time yet. She took SATs 3 weeks ago, and now she's got to take, or 4 weeks ago, and now she's got to take ACTs.
She didn't come to a workout
That
with
was
us because you guys
SATs.
said
This
she
is
had
Now she
ACTs.
got the different T.
Oh my god.
Those East Coast colleges want ACT scores. No,
Yeah,
she
she's
ain't
going
going
Ivy
I can
League. Yeah.
guarantee you she ain't going Ivy League. There's,
And actually, on the ACT, they say a lot of the private schools say if you take it twice,
Mhm.
they give you the benefit of the doubt. Like
Uh-huh.
if you scored low, the second time you take it, they kind of will like let it go. If you kind of struggle with the test, so if you took it a second time, you're showing them you really care and
Yeah.
you're trying. So I would suggest everybody take it twice.
We'll schedule that one during Masters.
Yeah,
Second one going. Straight
Yeah.
master.
Yeah.
yeah.
During second day. Oh my gosh. What do you guys feel about these parents who post up their national champion children when it's like 3 in the bracket and they combine the weight classes?
It's something. I
Like,
was there. You know, I
come on.
remember being proud of winning a tournament that there was nobody in. You know, it was like one kid, and but I was, you know, for me at that time, like I was struggling, so like that was a huge win for me. You know, I'll take it. You know, I think in this sport is hard, man, and you take what you can get, honestly. And a lot of the kids they struggle. You know, it's like you take a lot of beatings, and it's hard for a kid to understand. Hey, I want to get beat up a lot, and then eventually I'll be good. And I have to believe in that because most of the times the kids are like, I suck, I'm horrible, and you're like, no, man, you're doing great. But I got killed by everyone. You're like, no, but you have potential. Like you're getting killed very well.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
You're
getting
gonna kill with a
beat
purpose.
less and less
You're
every
gonna kill with
time.
a purpose.
and
Okay?
you're actually like, you know, executing
Yeah.
moves and you know getting some of them, and you know, you just got to work on bridging.
Well, I think that's why you're gonna have a super thick neck by the summer. Watch. But I think that's people thought it was kind of weird when Malia wrestled Jackie from Frontier in the finals, and we were really pumped up for her. We were really cheering, like telling her like
Yeah.
during the match, great job. Like she lost the match 4-2, but it was like, dude, you're not a state placer. She is. You rode the dog nuts off her. Like it was a good, solid performance. You know, one of those things like we always talk about. Like we don't ever talk about winning and losing, but we talk about those things about doing the best you can at that moment. You get taken down, be the best person in the world at getting out of that bottom and getting back to your feet and facing them and staying in the fight and those kinds of things. So, I mean, I could see the
You don't
development
win
in that,
anything. You
but
don't learn anything from your wins.
yeah,
You only learn it from your losses.
I don't remember any. I don't even remember my wins, to be honest with you. I remember the matches I lost that
Yeah.
were super tough, like battle. I remember that. You either remember getting your ass kicked, or you remember
Yeah.
just being in a scrap. But like a 3-point loss, you're like kind of like 3-point loss. I don't even remember that. And a tech fall win, couldn't tell you like 5 people I tech falled in high school or college. But a funny thing back to what Jimmy was saying, like, oh, you want to
Yeah.
take your beatings. Remember when I was coming back to wrestling after taking a couple years off from high school to college, and I was living in San Luis Obispo, and my girlfriend tells me, "Oh, you're gonna wrestle?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, where are you gonna practice?" I go, "Well, I'm gonna go to Paulie's room, and I'm gonna wrestle at Cuesta, but I'm gonna go to Paulie because Mark Perryman was there, and I just need to get my ass kicked. Like, I just need to get whooped." And I went in there, dude, and just got my ass handed to me. And I was like, okay. Like, she came out all smiling, teeth were all bleeding, and she's like, "Why are you so happy?" I'm like, because I just know I'm doing the right thing. It's just what happened.
Like, I used to tell because one of the
right
kids told me he's in bad shape, you know, like, and he wants to get in better shape. And I said, you know, there's being in good shape sometimes is a mentality, which is hard because when I played football, I'd come off football season, I'd be in bad shape, and we'd start wrestling, and I'd go into the room, and I would everybody in the room, I would do takedowns with them, and usually I was way better than people, so I would like beat them up, and then I just keep going until everybody quit or I threw up, and then I knew I was getting in better shape. And I just wouldn't stop. And I would even like work myself through being tired. Like I'd get tired and be like, okay, well now I'm going to, you know, work on, you know, wrestling tired and seeing how I can change my style up.
Yeah. I had a teammate named Devin Olio, and Devin Olio, he's like one of the head refs up in like Chico area now. And he would go like best of 21, like just shit. And you know, we would do just, and I would always ask him like people would ask him like, dude, Devin, why, like, how do you never get tired? And dude, Devin was like taped up, like head all taped up because they lanced his ear once trying to drain his ear instead of like using a needle. And so he had to tape his ear up and everything, and he was just bleeding all the time. And he was like, being tired, that's pussy. Like you that's in your head. It's just in your head. Like, I'm not tired because I don't think I'm tired. That's just it. And he would just go forever, dude. It's
definitely,
but it was right
to it, you know. I remember I was at the Cobra camp in Oregon one time when I was in high school, and there's this guy, Kenny Cox. He won like 10 national titles. Like, he was the man. And when he was in the room, I'd watch him, like, we'd do sprints at the end and everybody's dying. And this guy would just scream. He'd be like, ah, and then like go faster and pass everybody up and slip on his own sweat and just, ah. And I was like, man, this guy's an animal. I want to be like that. Like, that's my goal, you know, is to be so like intense and motivated that I won't slow down for anyone. And, you know, but I think that's also too, like, my dad pushed me pretty hard, and he's like, you know, I grew up with the mentality of like, you know, you should die before you quit, because quitting's the worst thing ever. You know, I think nowadays kids don't have that same.
I'm sure you're like me. I was more afraid of my dad when I got off the mat if I did quit than quitting.
Yeah, I think early on I realized that quitting wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not an option. But it was in everything we did. When I ran, at the end of the run, the last 100 yards would be full out, everything I had. And I could never not sprint like that. And a lot of times if I didn't throw up, I'd have to do the sprint again. So to push me to that point.
You know what I do? My kids are smart to it now. I'll tell them, okay, listen, you got this much time to run from here to here, you know, and sprinting, just happen. And they're going, and I'd make it kind of hard, you know, and then I find, okay, listen, if you just make it one time, if just 3 of you make it in this time, you're done for the day. And then 4 of them make it. And I'm like, oh, so you're holding back. Okay, here we go. Let's finish these up. You know, just like, oh God, I hate this guy. And I even like, after my kids graduate and stuff, and some of them, they came back from overseas and stuff. And like, you know, I'm having dinner with them or whatever. And they're like, you know, we used to plan on jumping you.
Yeah.
We just never did it. Like, we always said, like, oh, as soon as he comes in the room, we're just going to throw something over his head and we're just going to jump him. Like, God, like, we just never did it though. I was like, oh, thanks. I appreciate you not jumping me at that time.
Do we know where people are going next week? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, Santa Ana and Norco are the ones in southern section.
Okay. Oh yeah. Norco. We're going to Western next weekend.
What's Western? A duels?
Okay.
No, it's a regular tournament. We went last year.
Let's see here.
We
pulling up the California wrestler. See what else is happening. Where is the calendar? Here we go. Tournament. Oh, that's results. Wrestling tournaments. Here we go. Okay, so December All right, so the 14th. Okay, Beauty and the Beast at Temecula.
They're on a girls tournament.
Okay. Gotta fund the boys somehow.
I think Temecula tournament funds the boys
let's see
pretty
here.
well.
I think they do all right.
I think they make like 50 grand a year.
Yeah, they do okay there.
Some is good, more is better, isn't it? Maybe they want to charter a plane when they go somewhere. Let's see here. So Temecula tournament, then Women's Coyote Classic in Bakersfield at East Bakersfield High School. Then you have Western tournament. Then you have the Santa Ana tournament. You have the Redwood Ranger Shootout. Ray Roscoe up there. Briones tournament. That used to be one of the tough ones. I don't know if it still is these days, but back in the day, super tough. Rio Mesa JV tournament in Oxnard. Okay, hang on. They have Santa Ana listed twice. I'm tripping out that Oxnard has a JV tournament, and they have Wainimi High School in Oxnard has a varsity tournament. The Showdown on the Shore.
Those are.
Then you have Yuba City has a Jensen Invitational. Wow, that's a lot of tournaments for girls in one weekend.
Yeah,
in different areas.
I think we're going to the Rio Mesa one for
That's
JVs good. Also.
Yeah. Huh. A lot of tournaments. Not a lot of referees though.
We'll see.
And the weekend after that
is where?
Woohoo! Morro Bay's because they do the CIT. They're trying to do like their girls' version of the CIT.
Isn't the week after the same women's West Coast TLC? Or is that 2 weeks after that?
I think so.
I believe the girls' TLC is next weekend also. On the 15th.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well,
14th.
It's the weekend
whatever.
after Santa.
Not on here.
It's this coming weekend.
It's not this one. It's the week after.
No.
Oh, it is?
It's the 21st.
Yeah.
20th, 21st. That weekend's a busy weekend.
That one's a really busy weekend.
There's a ton of tournaments.
La Puente.
It's super busy. Okay, so here we go. We have Magnolia girls tournament. You have Santa Ana JV tournament. You have the Brittany David tournament. You have the Morro Bay tournament. You have the Castro Valley tournament. You have the Novice Marina High School tournament.
Santa Ana JV.
Did I say Santa Ana JV?
La Puente.
Yeah. Queen to Be JV at Corona.
That's a good little JV tournament.
Girls Varsity Lancer Open tournament. So, yeah.
Yeah. I believe we're going to La Puente and the Corona JV on the 21st.
Okay. Well, La Puente is one of the few that I'm still welcome to, so I'll probably be going.
I was going to say, you gotta stay with what you got working for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Albert Garza up in Morro Bay too is my boy.
Ramos has to travel across a couple counties now to be welcome.
Right. So
I coached at West Covina, but I didn't go to their.
I think Josh has a tournament every weekend, so you have somewhere to go.
Yeah, he's just keeping me busy.
Because you guys have a JV, varsity boys, varsity girls, like.
Yeah, we already did the JV and Frosh Soft boys tournament, and then we have a varsity one the week before our girl, like the 17th, and the girls the 25th.
Okay.
So that's
our
JV. Our JV one was big, like
yeah,
big, yeah. It was, nice. And we're done by 5. We had ran 2 separate tournaments, Frosh Soft and JV. I think we had like 400 and something kids there, and we were done by 5.
Dang. Nice.
That's pretty solid. Did you see some kids that were like, you should not be in the JV tournament?
Like, they're not good enough? Or I was at a girls' tournament, but they're too good?
I know.
Too good.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that a lot.
That's you generally, like, seniors are kind of done wrestling JV, right, boys?
Right.
But senior girls, I guess if it's their first year, they can go JV. I mean, I think as a coach, you got to kind of, like, know, like, all right, this girl's way too good. She should go to varsity, or she really shouldn't be in varsity.
Yeah. I mean,
well, I told you in the offseason, I saw a coach take a state place into a JV tournament, girls JV.
Even on the boys' side, I've seen a lot of
It's like-
people's varsity kids go on to
That's weird. Try to
JV
get some
terms.
confidence or something, or what?
Well, you know, if you have if
He's out of shape.
well, you think about it too. I think that for some people it's convenience. You know, like if most of their kids are JV, they're
Yeah.
just like, we're taking them all. They don't want those kids to not get matches,
I get that.
which, you know, kind of sucks for us because I took kids up north, and the ones that couldn't go, I was going to house stay and like go to Monroe for like JV tournament, but only ones that didn't go were like returning section placers. And so I was like, I guess you guys aren't wrestling this weekend.
And Ramirez would know.
That would be fair.
Of course. But I mean, I could have sent them anyway, like a lot of people do, but I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some Central girls that were there that were placers in their section and that were at this tournament one year. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's kind of dirty. It's kind of dirty. But all right,
we did
fellas,
like
it's
two,
getting
we did
late.
two
and
podcasts.
I
Yeah,
got
that's
to do
good.
Yeah. Double header.
2 podcasts
Double header.
back to back. Yeah, people weren't.
We got to
ready
go
for
back
it.
one day and start counting them because I
So-
know we're at like 60
Dude.
something, but
Your
So-
numbers are way off too. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, this is number 12.
No, I just started screwing stuff up too, and I was like labeling them. Like, fuck it, that's a good
4
number.
podcasts in a row. We're like number 8.
yeah.
Well, if we do them like this, it technically is.
Part 2.
So, okay, I'm on the pop sockets and I'm on the cards. I got something I gotta run by you after. So, all right, everybody, that's all we got for tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
See ya.